connection.
Okay.
Are we live? Okay, I think we're live. Hi, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. We have gorgeous weather here and we're heading into our Thanksgiving weekend here. So I hope you're having a good day too. Mistakes that riders make without realizing it is the topic that I wanted to chat to you about today. Because, when we want to do the very best for our horses, we don't really want to be making mistakes, do we? Right? But sometimes we don't even realize that we're making mistakes. So I wanted to come on and chat about this today to highlight some of the areas that maybe you are making a mistake. Maybe you're doing wonderfully in that area, but just this is a perspective that will help you to maybe look at it a bit differently and see if this is an area that you are making a mistake perhaps. So hi, my name is Chris Adderson and I'm the founder of Harmony for the Horse. If you are coming on live, please let me know where you're coming from, uh, what it is that you're working on with your horse, and maybe what you are struggling with right now. And that will help me to make content for you for the next times that we come on here. And if you're on the replay too, feel free to put notes for me below because I will always come in and I always chat with you. And I like to know who my replayers are and who my live people are. So let me know where you're coming from. I've helped thousands of riders to bridge this gap with their mistakes, right? Find the missing pieces, another way of saying it. Maybe it's in the area of feeling, the kinesthetic, or maybe it's in the mindset area, or maybe it's to do with techniques or how to solve problems with your horse. But filling in the holes and finding out where your mistakes might be in your horsemanship, or I like to say horse kinship, is critical for you to advance and to make progress. So let's jump into it now and go to number one. I have 5 for you. I have 5 areas or places where you may be making a mistake with your horse and you're not really realizing it. Number one is that you lose focus on your body language. So whatever you do with your horse, you are always working on some form of body language with whatever you're doing with your horse. And that's either consciously or subconsciously. So our horses pick up on the slightest of micro movements or the minute body language that you are doing. And for us humans, we're unable to pick up on that. We're unable to train ourselves to that depth of subtlety that the horses have naturally. So it's important that whenever you have a thought that comes into your mind or a word that you think about, that you know that what happens is then you get a vision, right? You get a picture of what your thought or your word was, which is a really good thing to get this picture. Okay, so you have a picture, and it may be an interpretation of what your thought is or what the word is, or maybe it's even an anticipation of what's coming next when you have that thought or that word that comes into your head. And then there's a body movement behind it or an action. And the horses pick up on this, right? It can be a change in your breathing or a slight tension difference or a slight difference in muscle tone, but horses pick up on this, right? All of these things our horses learn to read from us. So if we don't have focus on this, if we are making the mistake of not putting enough attention to this, this will hold us back. And I'll give you an example of this. And this is what we do in our program. We do liberty work. And this is very one good reason why we do liberty work in our program is because this puts our riders in tune with their bodies and what their bodies are doing. And the horse is picking up on their body language. And every body language that you are doing, consciously or subconsciously, is getting imprinted on in your horse. And so at Liberty, that can teach you so much about what you're doing and what you're not doing and what mistakes you're making. Okay, so this is a really good point to take note of, and that is to focus on your body language more. And I'll give you just another example of what happened to me. I used to trim all of my herd of horses, barefoot trimming. And I then had a back injury, so I wasn't able to do the trimming myself. I had to hire someone else, and I actually end up teaching her and training her how to trim. But in this process, when I'm doing this, when I'm training her or teaching her how to trim, or when I'm even just watching her, I find that my body is going through the motions of trimming. And it's subconscious. I can't stop it. But I get this happening and I feel it in my body. So that's an example of how we can train our body language. And it can be subtle body language or it can be body language, which is huge. All right, so that's number one. Let me know if that resonates with you. Put a comment for me below if that makes sense to you. All right, now we're going to go on to number two, which is the second mistake that most riders do, and they sometimes don't even realize they're doing it, is they lack clarity. So by that, I mean knowing your direction, right? Knowing where you are going with your horse and knowing the outcome that you seek. Okay, so once you know these things, once you are aware of these things and you have attention to it, that's when you can start to fine tune. Until then, you cannot start to fine tune. But you can start to fine tune by working on balance and working on your understanding of more deeper concepts. But there must not be fear involved in there, right? You cannot have fear. And we work on this too in our program. We work on this in a very deep level with you if you have any fear-based issues. And so once you have fear cleared out and you have clarity of where you're going and your outcome, that's when your communication can truly come from feel, right? You can truly feel things, and your feel can become an innate response in your body. And when we have this feeling, we also would like to have relaxation along with it, right? We would like to have balance. We would like to have self-carriage without the collapse of our bodies. And when our bodies don't collapse, when we have self-carriage, then we can therefore help our horses to not collapse in their bodies in whatever way it may be, whether it's their spinous processes collapsing from one side to the other, or the shoulder, or whatever you're seeing or feeling. If we are helping our bodies to not be collapsed, we can then help our horses further. And so our outcomes then, getting clear on our outcomes, any outcome of good training in any equine pursuit is that your horse remains sound, right? It must remain sound in his or her work and hopefully get better, get more even, get more balanced, have more self-care, so then you can work towards collection and building a superb athlete. And this all comes from the clarity part, right? Your horse needs to be relaxed in the self-carriage. So then they can be a willing partner for you. You can then build this superb athlete, and you can have purity of your paces and your gaits and give your horse their true movement that gives them comfort. All right, so let me know if that resonates with you, because we want to have the balance and the tone, and we want to have the connection of the entire whole horse's body through the proper use of the spine. Okay, so we've done number one and number two, losing focus on our body language. Number two, lacking clarity. Number three is that maybe a rider goes too fast or maybe they go too slow. So symptoms of going too fast are probably that you're going to overface your horse and yourself too. If you're going too slow, then you're probably going to get frustrated, right? These are the things I hear from riders. I don't understand. I'm overwhelmed. I can't do all of this at once. Or this is all taking too long. I want things to happen faster. I need more results to feel happy with what I'm doing with my horse. I want to help my horse to be better, faster. I don't want it to take so long. These things. So there are three types of timing, basically, is what I'm talking about. Three types of timing when you're dealing with your horse and revolving around rhythm as well. So one is that you have timing within the moment. Another one is you have timing within the movement. And the third one is you have timing within the mission. So that's moment, movement, and mission. All right, so all of this relates to rhythm as well, to feeling and having a timely hand and a timely body when you work with your horses. And so when we work in our program with our riders, we have a multidisciplinary approach, right? So we help you to change the visual into the kinesthetic awareness. And of course, we do that on the ground first. We do it in hand, we do it in liberty, and we have different modalities that we use. And this allows the rider to first see and then to feel, right? To sense it, to feel it through the ground perhaps, to visualize it, and then to actually feel the reactions that you're getting back, to feel the movement that you're getting back, or the responses, whether they're negative or they're positive, to feel the pressure and to then take that feeling and push it into the subconscious so it becomes a habit. And then that's when you will really succeed and get over these mistakes. And that enhances our riding skills, doesn't it, right? Your feeling becomes a habit on the ground, and then you can transfer that to the riding. And then the mission part of things, that's your goal. That's your overall goal, your intention, your target outcome that you're looking for, right? You can have any pursuit that you're in, but you still need to get this timing zoned in and dialed in. And if you like this, if this is resonating with you, you can always get notifications of when I go live. So make sure that you either click on the bell icon or click on the three dots to give you a drop-down arrow, and that will show you how to get the notifications coming to you when I go live. All right, number 4 is being versus doing. All right, this is where riders can make the mistake of not balancing the being and the doing. So what I mean by that is you may be focusing too much on being, right? Too much on just being with your horse and hanging out or doing body work or what. And I'm not saying these things are not good. They're all fantastic, all things that you need to do, but we also want to balance the doing. On the other hand, I see some riders who are too much in the doing thing, the end of things, trying to get all the cues sorted out, trying to get their aids clear, trying to put their body here and do this with the leg, do that with the hand, this with the head, right? This with your horse's head. Look at all this stuff, and they get so carried away with all of the doing. You need to find the balance between the being and the doing, because it's a synchronicity of the two of them. And when this is out of balance, that is a mistake that can hold you back quite seriously. All right, and the 5th thing that I wanted to mention here that sometimes riders don't even realize is happening, and that is that they take things too seriously. Okay, so yes, work on your self-mastery. Drill that. Work on that every day. I do that, and the writers in my program do that. But then you need to take it and have fun. Be curious. Take the next step from curiosity and play. I read the other day that it takes 400 repetitions to create a new synapse in the brain, a synapses, right? Whereas if it's in play, it's only 10 to 20 repetitions. So we do this in our program too. We help you to find out how to change that to play, right? So you take your technique, you create curiosity around it, and then you play. And a good example of this is a writer we had in our program who was a very good learner, right? She was very obedient, and she would study and do exactly as she was told all of the time. Yet she was still not making any progress and getting intensely frustrated by it. So much so that she was exasperated by the slowness. This is number 3 that we talked about, right? The slowness of this. When we worked with her in our program, we helped her and encouraged her to step out of the box, right? To trust that she had some good techniques. Yes, you can always improve on your technique, but go out of the box, take your techniques that you have, and ask questions, experiment, play with it, play with your horse, figure things out on your own. So if this resonates with you, please let me know, put a comment for me below. And if you would like help finding how to bridge that gap, how to find where your mistakes are, the holes that you have perhaps and you don't even know that you're making, then ride your horse that wants to explode in excitement and joy and power, but willingly contains that for you because he or she is your partner. Then click on the link that's somewhere around this video and we'll show you how we can help you. We can help you on that call.